Morning, Kal Kadosh, Boker Tov, Masechet Nedarim Daf Amud Aleph, 75a1. Says the Mishnah, Haomer Lishto, somebody that comes in and tells his wife, Kol Nedarim Shetidori, Mikan Ad Shavod Mimkom Ploni, Haren Kayamin. Imagine a person comes and he tells his wife, anything that you're going to make a neder from now until I come back from this certain place, Haren Kayamim, it's going to be Kayam. What does that mean, Kayam? I validate it. Lo amar klum, he didn't say anything, right? Harei mufarim, but if he did say that they're going to be mufar, it's going to be mufar. Rabbi Eliezer, right? Sorry, I didn't get there yet. Harei mufarim, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Eliezer says mufar, it's going to be mufar. Chachamim say en mufar. So this was the Gemara that we learned, if you remember, a few days ago, which is basically on the future, you cannot validate something. But on the future, you could be mefer. But now we just learned that was a shita of Rabbi Eliezer. Because according to Chachamim, it's also not mufar. Amar Rabbi Eliezer, says Rabbi Eliezer, im hefer nedarim sheba'u lichlal isur, lo yafer nedarim shelo ba'u lichlal isur. Says Rabbi Eliezer, 1 second. If he can annul a neder that already came into the isur, are you not going to tell me now that he's going to do something which is not coming into an isur? Amrulo, they told him, Harei Omer, it says, Isha yikimenu, which means the fact that there's a proximity, there's a juxtaposition, a kesh, right, between the nidrei ishto lezachoto leafer otam and the other one leafer otam and lekayem otam, it sheba lichlal hakem ba lichlal hafer, shelo ba lichlal hakem lo ba lichlal hafer, which means like this. According to the Chachamim, they come and they say like this: you have a svara. The logic is a correct logic. It means basically, if you could annul something that's already prohibited, for sure you could annul something that's not prohibited yet. Right? It's not even prohibited. If it's already prohibited, I could annul it. So for sure I could annul something that's not prohibited. But comes the rabbis and they say, yeah, but there's a juxtaposition. What's the smichut? Isha yikimenu, Isha yiferenu. It's written one after another. Husband, Isha, with the dagesh, it's a husband. The husband can be mekayem the neder, and the husband can be mefed the neder. So therefore, he says like this, just like the husband, so he says the husband could only be mefed if he could be mekayem. Which means the fact that it's written one after another, you could only be mefed if you could be mekayem. So therefore, you could only be mekayem if you actually make the neder. So too, you could only be mefed if you actually make the neder. That's the Chachamim. Okay? That's the Mishnah. Says the Gemara, Ibailehu on the bottom of Vayinehe Amud Aleph, 75a on the bottom. Ibailehu, so we're going to ask the following question. Rabbi Eliezer, according to Rabbi Eliezer, Mechal chalinu batlin, or dilma lo chalin kelal. Are you going to tell me that according to Shitat Rabbi Eliezer, the neder is chal, but then it's batel, meaning she made the neder and immediately it becomes annulled, or maybe it's not chal at all. It doesn't start at all. Meaning when he came and he said, any neder that you're going to make, it's already annulled. Does that mean that she made the neder is a neder, but then immediately becomes annulled? Or do you say that the neder never even became a neder? That's the question. So the Meinafka, what's the practical difference? Ein Hamud Vet 75b. Kegon de atpi sacharina behade nidra. So for example, he was matpis Adam Acher, his neder, right, of the woman. What does that mean? Right? He comes and he says, Shidpis Adam Acher nidro, beneder, meaning if somebody else said, just like if this woman made the neder, my neder is on her neder. You could do that. For example, I could come in and say, if John Jack becomes a Nazir, I'm a Nazir. I would matpis my neder on him. So now, if you're going to tell me, if you're going to tell me now that her neder is a good neder, but then it's just annulled, so then it's a good neder, also the other guy. Right? But if you're going to tell me lo chalin, it's not chal at all, lo yikamashesha, so then there's nothing. What's halacha then? So that you understood the question or not? One more time. I come and I say, I'm using it now on John Jack, but just that way everyone should understand. My neder is a good neder if John Jack's neder is a neder. Now, if you're going to tell me that John Jack's neder was a good neder, but then 2 minutes later or a second later was annulled, so my neder is a neder. But if you're going to tell me that neder was not a neder at all, so my neder was not a neder. So the same thing to do with the husband and the wife, the exact same concept. So Tashima, we're going to try to bring a proof. Amar Rabbi Eliezer, says Rabbi Eliezer, it's a question. Rabbi Eliezer came and he said a kal v'chomer. What was a kal v'chomer? If right now you could do hafarat nedarim, that it's already an isur, right? Now what? You're not going to do hafarat nedarim if they didn't do an isur. Shema mina lo chalin. We learn from here that it's not chal at all. That's not chal at all. So says the Gemara, what are you talking about? Miketani she'enam ba'in, that they're not coming to an neder. Shelo ba'u li klal isur. Not shelo ba'in, that it's not going to be. That they didn't become. Right? Shadain lo ba'u. Which means right? Maybe they are going to become an isur. So you can't bring a proof from that language. So Tashema, we're going to try to bring another proof now. Rabbi Eliezer says, Uma bimkom, in a place where you made the neder, she'en mefer nidre atzmo mishenadar, a person cannot mefer his own neder that he made. Mefer nidre atzmo shelo yidor, but he could be mefer his own neder until he doesn't make the neder. Makom shehu mefer nidre ishto mishetidor, if he could annul his wife's neder if it's already done. Eno din sheyafer nidre ishto shelo tidor, so shouldn't he be able to be mefer the neder until she doesn't even make it? So my love, the ishto dunya delay shouldn't be like the wife, just like him. Mahu delo chalin, just like by himself, right? The bitul is mugdam. That means if you're going to be mivatel, it's not going to make the neder is going to chal at all. So to his wife also, it shouldn't be chal at all. And so the Gemara, no. Hakirita vakirita, it's two different things. Which means like this: if I come and I make a bitul on a neder that I'm going to make in 5 minutes, right? And that's what we do on Rosh Hashanah. By Erev Rosh Hashanah and Erev Kippur, what do? And part of it we say, even if we are going to come and make a neder in the future, it's already batel. Oh, well, it's already batel. I didn't make it yet. But it means that I'm being batel something before I even said it. It's called bitul, right? It's also called, by the way, bitul is moda. A moda is if I come and let's say, chas v'shalom, I already know that there's going to be force majeure involved. Somebody's going to force me into doing something. So what do? I come in front of lawyers, or whoever it is, I come in front of the edim, and I come, yeah, right? And I come, it's on me, it's not on you, don't worry about it, yeah? So I come and I tell them, listen, in 10 minutes, they're going to force me to sign something that I don't want to sign, that I'm selling them a property or whatever it is. I'm doing a mudah. I don't want to do it. I'm being forced into it. You come, you do that, and that's it. That's why by gets, the first thing that you do by a get is bitul mudah. Why? Because if you did give over such a thing, I annul it. We annul it. Why? Because afterwards, we don't want you to come. We don't want you to come 10 minutes later and say, no. You see, I got a paper. I was just laughing at you. No. Bitul mudaot. Right now, you're coming. We annul everything that you did beforehand. It's a clean slate. And if you did do it, now you're annulling it. And here you have two witnesses. Here you have that. There's nothing what to do. You understand? So here, the same thing. If the husband could come and he could say something and he could annul a neder that he's going to make in 5 minutes, shouldn't be the same thing that he should annul his wife's neder if he could annul it afterwards? So for sure he could annul it beforehand. Answers the Gemara, hakidita. It's two different halachot. His wife is one thing, himself is something else. So Tashema, we're going to try to bring another proof. Amrulo Rabbi Eliezer, they told Rabbi Eliezer, according to your svara, we should have judged the kal vachomer uma mikveh shema'ale tatmein mitumatan en matzil elaterim elatameh. A mikveh. If you go inside a mikveh and you're tameh, what do you become? Tahor. But can it save somebody from becoming tameh? No. What's the connection? Adam she'en ma'aleh tatmein mitumatan eno dinu shelo matzil. Right? He says shelo matzil elatorim elatameh. So he says, 1 second, a human being that he doesn't make it from the tameh to the tahor. Eno din shulo yatzil elatorim elatameh. Shma mina lo chalin. So it's mashma from here that what Rabbi Eliezer learned from the kal vachomer, that when the husband comes and he's mefer nidrei ishto, it's not chal at all. It's not chal at all. Not that it is chal, but you annul it immediately. So then the Gemara is going to say, yeah, but a Masechta, let's see the Seifa, but it's going to be mashma the exact other way.